Okay, how we doing? We good? Mr. Soundman? Alright, yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, the roast of Liz Hickey! Featuring the not ready for Netflix players. I haven't been surrounded by so many broke, ugly people since I went to Liz's family reunion. Hi-oh! You see, my smug, self-satisfied grin after every joke is really a gift that keeps giving. So Liz's boyfriend Grant is a jazz musician. Grant. Yeah, Grant means serenity. Jesus, for this. Her boyfriend Grant is a jazz musician. A comedian and a jazz musician. What a pair. No wonder they have so few friends. A comedian and a jazz musician, I guess if you put you two together, it's like Woody Allen, but with twice as much sexual abuse. Yeah, proud of them all, like their babies. Liz is dark. She's known for being dark. Liz is so dark, she's the only woman trying to get her jazz musician boyfriend on heroin. In high school, they called her Liz Hackey. Not for her derivative jokes, but for what she did to her boyfriend's remains after she poisoned them. Remains. That's the one. So to open the second half, we're going to just run off a list of some of those comics who had to bail out on Liz, like her father always wanted to. Bill Miller couldn't make it, as he's been imprisoned back in the States. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong, he just really wanted to join the Aryan Brotherhood. We have had a joke submission by one comic who's never really fully present in the room, JJ Wackrat. Liz is good at sumo slams, one advantage of being built like a wrestler. Is it one for the comedians? Or not even for the comedians, as we just proved that. Sorry, JJ. We've had an interesting technical, new level of technology tonight. So some comics, comics have big egos. Some comics have egos so large that even though they're out of the country, they were so desperate to have their voices heard that they recorded audio roasts for Liz, which we're going to listen to presently. Their ringleader, of course, was BJ Fox. At first I thought BJ didn't trust me to read out his jokes. But then I realised this is technically, his voice playing through the speakers is technically a broadcast, and with this many people in the room, it's more viewers than every episode of Home Sweet Tokyo combined. BJ Fox's NHK World show, Home Sweet Tokyo. A show so shit they had to cast BJ Fox in the lead. Go ahead, I think that's a good enough cue for him.
Okay, I'm staying in an Airbnb with two colleagues, so I can't really say this very loudly, so apologies for the poor recording. And I am sorry to see you go, Elizabeth, bye. But one thing I won't miss is your miserable personality. You are so miserable, so dark, and all our female comedians seem to be miserable, Christianitsky, but they're miserable because no men will ever talk to them, let alone touch them. But I think you suffer from the unique misery of a lady engaged to a professionally trained jazz pianist who never seemingly can enjoy that touch. I recently asked Grant why he never touches you, why he won't satisfy you. I was like, do it for us, cheer up. She's bringing down sumo slams, and he gave me a really interesting answer.
Where's the music?
He said, well, I'm truly inspired by the groundbreaking pioneering work the African-American community did with jazz in the 1950s. I find what they did to Elizabeth's arsehole during her student days, particularly Spring Break 2013, quite the turn-off. They may have broken ground with the blues, he said, but they broke a whole lot more down there. He said, touching you is less like playing a piano and more like tracing his fingers around the end of a saxophone. Anyway, have a good roast.
Thank you, BJ Fox, for the worst ASMR I've ever heard in my life. It's like he was licking my ear. It's disgusting. You know you could get so close to your fucking phone. Okay, we got more. Hyatt Shah also recorded a roast for you. Your roast battle thingy guy. Hyatt couldn't make it because his son was hospitalized. Again. Because he's a shitty father. Last time this happened, it did happen before, someone was hospitalized before. Last time this happened, Hyatt's father-in-law threw a pan full of hot rice on the boy, which at least means that someone can afford to feed Hyatt's kids. Ruben, go ahead.
Elizabeth Hickey. Yo, Liz, your last name sort of rhymes with another comedian, you know? Itzky. Kiki. But that's the only thing you guys have in common, though. You know? Like Itzky, she's slim, right? And oh yeah, she's higher educated too. You know, come, Liz, let's not kid ourselves, like film school. Come on now. I went to film school. How hard can it be? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. And Itzky, she's funnier too. And yo, she can't even speak English. Oh, but wait. You guys have something in common though. You guys have something in common. Both your asses got fucked in World War II.
Jews and Japanese.
Cheech Marin, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, you've been roasted by the lead rapper from Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
That's
The voice of God is now insulting me.
great.
Truly blessed.
And in Mexico. So, let's continue this really weird experience. My joke for Christiane comes after the fact, so play Christiane.
Hi Liz, Christiane here. Sorry I can't be with you tonight, but I have a very full and vibrant life. You should try it sometime. Have a great night. Liz's poker face looks like the puckered arse of a cat. When she opens her mouth and shit comes out. Liz's voice is so monotonous and droning, it reminds me that suicide is always an option. Liz is a trained film colourist, which is ironic, considering she chooses to wear makeup that makes her look 7 days dead. Liz works as a nanny with other people's kids. They serve as a reminder that she must never reproduce. Her eggs sit inside her, chanting evil Sanskrit, floating in sulphur, and would only come out as the actual devil. Her eggs are so shriveled and worthless, they might as well be Fergal's cock. I miss you, Liz, you trashy slapper.
There's certainly a theme to these called in roasts, aren't they? It's scary.
Oh, thank you.
So that was Christiane Brew, whose vagina is so peaty, she's opening it up for a distillery tour over St. Patrick's Day weekend. Speaking of Petey, you're about to hear Peter Siddell. Now, I'm not sure if hearing Pete's voice without his horrifying visage is more or less creepy than his normal comedy set, but we shall find out. Ruben, play the tape.
Hi Liz, this is Peter. I'm actually in Thailand at the moment, but because I've seen Liz perform fairly often, I decided I didn't need to visit her elephant sanctuary. But something I saw in Thailand did remind me of Liz. One afternoon I saw a middle-aged ladyboy who'd really let herself go. I have only written a couple of jokes because you're not worth any more effort than that. I know you're disappointed at the format of this show. I know when you heard about it, you were hoping to be spit roasted on stage. Not for the first time. I know that you enjoy working as a nanny, you're finding it useful practice for married life. So when you do get married, you'll be an expert at getting the kids drunk to make sure they stay asleep while you fuck daddy on the couch. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I don't know who Pete's kidding that if he's gone to Thailand, he's ever going to an elephant sanctuary. The fucking pedo sanctuary. That was it for the audio recordings, everyone. Thank God that's over. That was nice. Yeah. So we've got some more comedians coming up in the second half. The rest of the group is here. Let's have a look at who they are. Vinay Murthy's here, ladies and gentlemen. His nickname, as he doesn't tire of reminding people, is Vinay MDB. Because his mind is a wasteland of useless knowledge, and he has remained largely unchanged since the late 90s. One for the geeks there.
That was a good joke.
Thanks for telling us, Rob. Ruben VM's still here, ladies and gentlemen. Ruben drinks a protein shake every night before he goes home. Because when he's out here, his wife thinks he's at the gym. The truth is, the only thing Ruben's still working out is how to play the guitar. Harry Metcalf's here, ladies and gentlemen. Harry Metcalf. Harry's probably the only comedian who's had all of us over to his apartment under the pretense of recording YouTube Phenomenon, the dubbing game. If you don't know it, check it out. The phenomenal part of that being that it gets any views at all. Come on, the YouTube one. He's brave to invite us over because the only furniture that Harry has in his house is a Nintendo Switch. And it looks like he's been robbed, but some burglars tried to rob him and they actually left him the Nintendo there because they felt bad for him. Guys, are you ready for your first comedian of the half? Seriously, the only thing to say about this guy is somebody had to go first. It's Fergal Daly.
Thank you, Alex. So we have to roast the people who are handing the mics over. Remember, Alex, you teach English to kindergarten kids, and no one will say anything meaner to you than that tonight. Bob, I couldn't tell if your marathon bombing reference was a joke or just a description of your set. The rest of you, I didn't actually write any roast for anyone else. Clearly the feeling was mutual. Go fuck yourselves. No, I went hard on Liz, which is something I never thought I would hear anyone say. So I heard Christian's egg joke before, and I thought lots of people would write egg jokes, so I wrote an egg joke. Liz's eggs are so dried and shriveled and bitter and spicy and salt and vinegar and pickled onion that if her boyfriend ever gets her pregnant, everyone will ask her, is it yours? Liz is from Boston, Irish American. She has a grudge against me. Us Irish love to hold a grudge, but here's the thing, a grudge is like a dick. You shouldn't be seen holding one in public. Even for a Boston girl, Liz has held it for her fair share. So as an MC, she's given me a very uncomfortable introduction. She said, I don't really like him. He's too nice. I wish he'd stop being so likable all the time. Jesus, Liz, keep your knickers on. Most women play hard to get. Liz is playing hard to want.
That's recycled, you fuck.
Yes, sorry. I expected there to be a lot more vagina jokes tonight. I'm going to stay away from Liz's vagina. That was my gut reaction when I first saw her for the first time. And it stood me in good stead. When we met, she was working as a babysitter. I thought, oh my god, I have 2 kids. We're desperate for a babysitter, but we're not that fucking desperate. I did briefly consider asking her. Then I thought, what's that conversation going to be like? Hey Liz, good set tonight. I like how you made life and love seem like worthless bullshit. Do you want to mind my kids? Please don't be anything like you are. Yeah. So I asked Liz for some info about the roast. She said, use my comedy. I thought that's a bit weird. This is a roast, not a fucking yeast infection discussion group. Not a therapy session for people who weren't qualified to teach English to kindergarten kids. Not a support group for women embittered before they even came to Japan. So, Liz has a unique comedy style. It's been described as low-key, subtle, barely comedy. I suffer from a bit of ADHD. It's hard to pay attention sometimes, but Liz has taught me to focus. If I can pay attention to 8 minutes of Liz, I can pay attention to fucking anything. Actually, Liz's comedy is tight. It's tight. It must be nice to have finally found something that gets tighter with age and experience. Liz is not musical, but her boyfriend is a jazz pianist. It's beautiful that the universe brought together two people who really appreciate precise, powerful fingering. He is a professional pianist. His fingers were insured for millions, but the insurance company cancelled his policy when they found out where else he was putting them. It's known in the industry as the bear trap.
What?
The bear trap. No, whatever, forget it. Okay, I didn't do right. Okay. Liz and her boyfriend are both fans of my erotic literature. Yeah. And I'll miss discussing Japanese porn with you, Liz. Do you remember the electric floor sander?
The bubble.
The bubble, oh yeah. Well, when I say discussing, I mean it was mostly Liz making faces while the guys around her took turns expressing themselves, but that's normal for Japanese porn. You look like you were well used to it, a real pro, yeah. You know, most of my jokes tonight, you know, they imply Liz involved with dicks or jizz or porn. It's lame. The woke among you will recognize this as a type of harassment. It's called slut shaming. It's not okay for it's not okay for men to do this. Liz is a modern, independent, capable woman. She doesn't need me telling the world that she's a desperate cock monster. You're fucking nailing that yourself, Liz. All right, that's the end of my list. Liz, it really has been a pleasure.
Well done. Virgo Daily, everybody.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. I've really enjoyed doing stand-up with you. You've been a great friend to me. Thank you. Next up is Ruben. Myself and Ruben are so white that if we stand together, we give each other sunburns. Ruben is blonde with blue eyes, though. He's from New Zealand. His family fled there from Europe in the 1930s to get away from the Nazi fanboys. Come on up here, Ruben, and exterminate her.
Well, first of all, Fergal, thanks for dressing up in your son's clothes. Great stuff. Someone confused the laundry, obviously. Hey, we've got a lot of, it's a great thing about a roast is you kind of get an overview of who's in the comedy scene at the moment. We have a lot of new people and people we haven't seen in a while. We've got Adam, we've got Fergal, Tariq, Bo. Adam, you know, we haven't seen him in a while. As most people here know him as Who. Tariq, most people know him as Why. Fergal, Bo, most people know him as What. Honestly, I have no idea. Like Bo, he looks like the result of one of Buck's experiments in his basement. Sick stuff, dude. Sick stuff. Buck, you know, Buck's a really interesting guy. You know, we have group chats among comedians, and he always torpedoes every single conversation. It's just he doesn't know how to use technology, and we forget because he's so immature. But he's just an old man. Can we just leave him alone? Can we get some grandkids to help him out? I don't know. Hickey, I went to set today. It was great. I wrote half of it. Kidding. She's just using me as an English teacher. A lot of people are making fun of the way you look, and I don't think it's fair. I think actually you're quite pretty. It's like one of these movies, you know, those American movies, you know, with this mousy, boring kind of, you know, girl. She takes her glasses off, and everyone's like, wow. So Hickey, can you just do us a favor and just take your glasses off? Oh, wow. Tariq has a lazy eye
Stop there.
for comedy. For comedy. But I like Tariq a lot because he's a go-getter. He started an open mic. I went to Tokyo Jokyo. Did you think of that all by yourself? We know. I went to the last one and it was seriously the most desperate, miserable mic I've seen since Mike and Onus. Seriously, what? I thought he was supposed to be the biggest supporter of women in Tokyo comedy. He leaves before you get to have a chance to reply. What's that about? He left. Yeah. It's not fair. But I do think he has a bright future as Buck. You know, clearly gay but married to a Filipina.
True.
Ben Jennings could be here tonight. It's kind of weird. He usually doesn't. He's got things on when there's roasts. He's never roast battled. Oh, sorry, Ben Jennings. Most people know him as Coward. Coward. Roast, bitch. I'll send this to him later. Pete, he looks like a shaved baby mouse right before he gets fed to a snake. Harry's a multi-talented dude. He teaches English. He does comedy in Tokyo. He wrote a novel. He has a bright future as. He has a bright future as Jamie Cook. Better get a head start and growing out the neck here. Hyatt, I'm so sad he couldn't be here. He was like the virgin battle. He kind of the coming of age of both of you. He looks like he sells all of his prescription medicines to you. And Elizabeth clearly does not share. Vinay, he's got a joke. He says a lot about how people mistake his name for vagina. That's not why they make that mistake. It's because of your disgusting curly beard and your disgusting pink lips. Well, we'll mosaic the stuff out later on. It's fine. It's fine. But we're coming to the man of the hour, Alex Camp. That's what we call him every Wednesday. Look, dude, some of us have or one day have families. So, well, I want to go home. It's a long way home. He makes fun of me a lot for being a musical comedian, and it's true. It's called having an act. Alex does not have an act. He simply inherited Good Heavens Comedy Club from BJ Fox. So, but I can see why he's confused. He's a talented musician, and that's why he's always going on with these long meandering solos that end in polite applause. So that's what happens. Anyway, Elizabeth, we're here for you today. She's got this great tattoo. I think it's on the left arm of a succulent. Succulents. You ever know what a succulent is? It's like a cactus, but it's like a plant that stores a lot of water. And you know how they say pet owners start resembling their pets? Elizabeth doesn't drink water, obviously. She just stores vodka and regret. She says a lot. The biggest memory we have of Elizabeth, I think it was recently at You Heard the Joke, where she just destroyed JJO. I'm sorry about that, dude. It was, there was Montreal versus Boston. You're representing Beantown. And JJ, there was no way in hell you were going to beat her. You're never going to beat this fucking beanbag over here.
Yeah.
So you're no longer a nanny, but you're still an au pair. Which is ironic because she's going to go to the Big Apple. But look, I'm going to be so happy to see you go. And obviously we will not recognize her when she comes back to visit us because she's going to be she's going to have some urgent nose job done in New York. So Sorry. Next up, Harry, the guy.